that music, though. What up, everybody? Wait, it didn't do the cool transition. Let's do it again. Nope. Why is that not? Okay. Third time's the charm. Booyah! What's up, everybody? Good morning, and welcome to the Olimoleague. Maynard's camera is slightly off. I will fix that in a moment, but before we do that, how are you doing, Maynard?
I'm doing okay, man. Just to let you guys know that we're you could probably tell by Rifkin's voice that we're not 100% today, but tonight's going to be a good cast. No doubt the StarCraft will help.
Yeah, so I'm having some allergy attacks, as you guys know from yesterday's stream, most likely. You're going to hear some sneezing, and unfortunately, while I'm excellent at the mute micro when I'm co-casting with Zombie Girl, I can't really tab out so easily when I'm observing, so I unfortunately don't think I'm going to be able to mute some of those for today. But we'll play with it, and we'll see how things go. Hopefully it won't be too bad. Maynard's also not slept for like 2 days, because that'd be too long to sleep. Hey, Mitch Hedberg jokes. But I did want to start off the stream by getting a little bit mad and jealous and excited all at the same time. So one of the folks in chat, Zimxiao or XIMA CEO name I can't pronounce, he got his BaseTradeTV, the new BaseTradeTV shirt in the mail. The chat memes one. And I'm going to embarrass you by showing it off on stream. I'm sorry, buddy. And I'm mad about this because mine hasn't even shipped yet. Like, he got his already, and mine hasn't even, like, been, hey, it's on the way. Like, son of a gun, but it looks fantastic. I'm glad it turned out well. As you know, the concern is always, like, will it translate to print as good as it looks like in art? But it definitely looks like it did. I really like this a lot. I hope this looks as good in real life as it does, at least in this picture, man. And thank you for buying the shirt, too.
Yeah, it's a sexy man with a sexy shirt. Well done, mate. And congratulations on being the first one that we know of on social media to show it off, too.
Yeah, actually, it is definitely...
Sorry, Rifkin.
What?
I said, sorry, Rifkin. I know you wanted to be the first.
Oh, yeah. Sorry. I was like, wait, what the fuck did I just do? What? But, yo, no, that thing looks awesome. And he is actually definitely the first one to show that off, much less share it. And I don't even know if anyone else has got it. He may actually have been the first person to get it, too. I don't know.
I haven't picked it up myself. I think I joined the BaseTradeTV hype train a little bit too late because I don't actually, like, you know how you have to be like a long-standing member of the BaseTradeTV chat to know everything that's going on in that t-shirt?
Well, I mean, 90% of it's just our fucking emotes all over the place, right?
That is true. That is true.
But
it's not available anymore, right? Is it?
We're gonna relaunch a new campaign for it, but yeah, the first ones are done.
All right, I'll keep an eye on the relaunch. I might get the relaunch patch.
I'm just glad it looks good. Is all I care about, really, at the end of the day.
Yeah, no, it does. I like it. I love the whoever the artist is. Did a great job. Like the.
Yeah, it's actually a Japanese artist I've been a fan of for a while, and I asked him, like, hey, you know what, like, I've commissioned some art from them before in the past, and I was like, hey, look, you want to take on this big project? So we made a fair deal. You know, you look at most shirt designs out there, they go for like $300, $400. We paid him $400, and what I was really excited about is through his first campaign, we made back that $400. So going forward, like, we literally exactly broke even. So going forward, and if we sell any more shirts, it's all just profit, which is nice. But I like having a shirt that's ours. You know, I don't know if you were here when we discussed it, but sorry, what's it?
Bless you.
It's been a struggle because we learned in a pretty harsh way, Blizzard, rightfully so, they're not wrong about this, it just sucks for us. They want to protect their IP, so we actually can't use any StarCraft or Blizzard related materials, and it sucks being a StarCraft channel, not being able to make a t-shirt that has, like, you know, a fucking Terran logo on it or something, right? And I'm sure some of you out there will be like, well, I've seen Falcon Winter and Falcon Paladin and all these other people who've got, like, shirts that have these things on them, and technically they're not allowed to. We're under a lot of extra scrutiny because we work closely with Blizzard, so I'm pretty sure if those guys ever did get flagged down or something, they'd get the same cease and desist we got. Not that I couldn't be bothered to go, like, fucking report this out of jealousy, so I don't really care personally. But just so you guys are aware, like, it's really nice having that shirt because we just really haven't had the option. But hey, brackets are finalized. A lot of signups for today. Holy guacamole!
Yeah, holy shit. That is a ton of players, and also just casually a couple GSL champions.
Yeah, no big deal. Stats,
a couple rematches.
chilling.
Yeah, just like Stats, Zest, Innovation, old GSL champions. I'm seeing my man Alive in there, my man Gumiho.
Gumio's been kicking ass, dude. Gumio and
Yeah,
Innovation
Gumiho's
was so sick back to back the other day
yeah.
last week.
I'm actually seeing a couple of my Australian mates in here. I see actually a New Zealander as well, Mighty Kiwi the New Zealander. I'm seeing my man Hut, the Terran from Sydney, and Crimson, who I believe is the Zerg, also from Melbourne. So there's a few Australians out there, and it is our time zone, so why not? I wonder how far they'll get.
Yeah. Some really very interesting matches right off the bat here. I'm just poking around. Sorry, guys, one sec. So right away, actually, So there's some good round 1 matches, but there's also some good round 2 matches lined up too. I'm just poking a couple folks so we can grab something, so we don't sit here twiddling our thumbs. I'm looking to get us into either Armani versus Billowy, which is a ZVP.
Yeah, that'd be sick.
That's actually a really good first round match. But then also, I don't know who Sue is playing against, but Sue versus Stats lines up to be the second round match. So we could do like, if this goes perfectly according to plan, we could do Armani versus Billowy into like Sue versus Stats.
It's also Creator Penguin could potentially be okay, but it would be nice to follow Stats for sure.
Yeah, well,
mean,
I'm just trying to grab whoever for now because these guys, they go
yeah,
fast.
yeah. They're a no nonsense, all business Korean bracket here for the most part.
Yeah. Well, it's not only that they just like the. I think there's it's not rude, but there's this like degree of okay, if we go really quick, then we don't have to invite casters.
Say it isn't so.
No, I mean like the thing is we've had this history of like folks. Oh, here, join off me. You're gonna have to be real quick about this. But,
Yep.
yeah. Folks like Solar and others in the past who we've been closer friends with, they'll do it to us too, and not because they're trying to be rude. It's just it's how they do it. But anyways, maps are pre-picked in the Olimoleague. First round, best of 3. We're gonna be kicking it off on Blood Boil. It's also worth noting that this map pool only uses 5 of the 7 ladder maps. So for those that aren't in the know, that's Abyssal Reef, Proxima, Ascension, Ire, Blood Boil, and Odyssey, which I think it's really unfortunate. I don't like that the 2 maps that they cut out, I don't like, and then I don't like the fact that they kept in a combination of Blood Boil and Proxima, but that's just me personally.
I don't mind Proxima, but having Blood Boil sneak in there is a little bit interesting compared to considering that generally the Koreans and that sort of thing they want to play more not I don't want to say sensible maps, but like easier maps.
No, this is a garbage map. You can say it. I fucking hate it. I hate casting it. I hate playing on it. But for those who don't know, the maps were picked this way because this was the best suggestion from Crank for balance when Olivia was making the new season map pool. So, yeah. Crank is smart enough to know what he's doing. I'm just personally not in like 100% compliance, but it's still like, who cares? We're gonna get good games. We're gonna get maps, whatever. But man,
I'm getting chastised in the chat. Oh, whoopsie daisies!
Why are you getting
I actually said that I did it's not actually one of the most horrifying things you can do as an Australian is to wrongfully say a New Zealander is an Australian or wrongfully say an Australian is a New Zealander. You actually can't do that. That's like it's a bad thing for my people. It's okay, like confusing it.
The equivalent to that for me would be like not confusing a Canadian with an American, but confusing a Canadian with like a really Southern American. Like the guys are like, y'all, what up, howdy.
Yeah, that's the equivalent actually. Like it's they're different. We have a lot of similarities, but we have enough differences where we shouldn't be getting away with saying things like that. Like saying that someone's Scottish when they're British, that sort of thing.
Yeah. Oh man. The funny thing is, I only know the difference between Scots, Brits, and all the other ones. Partially because I watch a lot of BBC stuff, but partially because of Scrooge McDuck from DuckTales.
There you go. He's a Scot.
Life is like a hurricane here in Dockburg. Man, that show was not the best show I remember from my childhood, but that was a good show, like legit. I heard they did a reboot.
DuckTales was pretty high tier. They did a reboot of DuckTales, really?
Yeah, they had like Ben Schwartz and a bunch of other like SNL actors and stuff do the voices of like Huey, Dewey, and Louie. I don't know. I haven't seen it, but I'm like,
I don't know how I feel about that. I mean, I was a fan of DuckTales back in the day as well. I actually had the original Nintendo game as well.
Billy Noe's host. There we go.
Go. Do it. All right, Armani versus Billowy. First series. Hype.
Yeah. So again, if all goes according to plan, and I'm not saying it will. In fact, rarely does it ever, right? But if all goes according to plan, this will go off on its own direction. We'll probably hop down to Sue versus Stats if that ends up being the case, and then it gets better, Maynard. Round 3, possibly Gumiho versus Innovation or Alive versus Innovation.
Oh, Ace
So-
Ludes, Craigasms.
That is, of course, only if all things go according to plan, but we'll look into that more in a moment. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. You are watching the Olimoleague. I'm Rifkin, casting with Maynard. And spawning here in the top left side of the map, it's going to be the blue barcode, Billowy.
You whip out some Title T action for that barcode there, Rifkin?
Nope.
Oh, no, he has his clan. Not good.
Yep.
And the bottom right here. This is Armani.
Do you know the Artosis Title T story?
No, I don't know about that.
Okay, so you guys got to understand, I have not been like I'm a big fan of Artosis and Tasteless, right? But not
Well,
like...
everyone is.
Right, but there are some people who like they live and die for them. For me, I'm just like, those are cool dudes. They do a great job at what they do, and I have respect for them, right? I'm not like a big fanboy. However, this is still one of those like don't meet your heroes moments because Artosis he actually watches. He's actually subscribed to BaseTradeTV, which blows me away. But he watches fairly often when we're
He wants
casting.
those replays, man.
Probably, but when I meet him in person, first time ever, we're in Korea. He takes us to dinner. He starts making fun of the Title T moments as well as he's like Ace T is like my favorite emote. I'm like, no, Artosis, that's for when I mess up. Don't tell me that. Ah.
Do you know what else? You know what else? I bet he has a Hoi 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 t-shirt.
Secretly, yeah, it's
tricky.
just like hiding the
Yeah.
taste is like we're at the parties all the time.
Yeah,
sure.
and then they go out and they're like, look at these douchebags.
It's only one shirt though, right? They gotta share it, so they like time share. You get it Monday, Tuesday,
Yeah.
Thursday.
Well, I mean, I'm in an Archon myself with Zeph, and we just wear one shirt it's not unnatural for an Archon to be in one shirt at the same time. So
On that note, too, by the way, really heartbroken about the lack of communication from VSL this season. And
oh yeah. Just to share the story with chat is that we, a lot of you guys probably already know because a lot of you guys are touched into the StarCraft community and the scene and Reddit and whatnot. But VSL wanted to just have one stream for VSL, like just on their original straight up Korean casts, so no clean feed for foreign casters. And that didn't sit well with me, certainly not. And I know that Rifkin definitely wants it as well.
It was frustrating for a couple of reasons. Like, first off, I felt like the communication just wasn't there. Not just for us. Like, there was the Russian stream, and like everyone trying to reach out to these guys. I DM'd them, I emailed them, no response until like the day of the broadcast, and they're like, yeah, so we don't know if we want to put the effort into it, basically. But they did say if there was demand, they would consider it. So, Maynard made a tweet. A couple other people made some tweets. It's not nearly enough noise yet, apparently. But politely, right? Politely, if you guys want some more English VSL coverage.
Just Canadians. We're cutting everyone else out.
Right. If you want more English VSL coverage and you want to specifically see Maynard and Zeph for that too, tweet at VSL Gaming because it's probably the only chance we have to make something like that happen.
Yeah, I made as much noise as I think I can on social media. Like it was a pretty popular tweet when I got it done, but if that's not enough for VSL, feels bad, man. We do have a little bit of a depth pressure here, by the way, by Billowy Armani with plenty of lings. No problem there. He has a third hatch, plenty of drones on the way, so Armani is sitting pretty. Although he is, a little bit behind on workers, and that's because Billowy did go for that quick expansion at the back door, and he's going. His Twilight Council was pretty quick as well. Just dropped it up and getting the first 2 gateways.
Yeah,
and getting blades right away.
Well, this is a pretty important scout to see that first off. It's the Twilight Council, but also the back base. But the unfortunate thing that you can't really scout is becoming more and more popular is whether it's going to be resonating glaives or charge. We've been seeing a lot of faster charge coming out of these Protoss players, and I mean they're both frustrating to deal with for certain. But I think charge is hitting a little bit harder lately.
Oh yeah, I even at like lower levels where I am on the ladder right now, which is like an intermediate level, and I'm even being hit very hard by these charge builds. And I mean, not as a Terran player, I don't really see charge builds too often. But I've been playing Zerg lately for the past few days on stream, and it's very, very rough timing. You need to scout that stuff. You need to see it coming and get that Baneling Nest up, or go for Roaches, which is another option. Looks like Armani's actually going for the Roach option.
Yeah, so this is really interesting for me because Roaches are, of course, great early game scrappers, and they'll get the job done when there's no mortals in play. yada yada yada. But the ultimate thing is we've been seeing the competition now lean towards Hydras in almost every single, whether you're European or Korean. So laying Hydra Bane is like the ultimate go-to, but this game didn't open up with any harass out of Billowy really. Like the 2 Adepts were dealt with so quickly, so there was no problems. There's no Warp Prism following this up. The Overlord is going to go down, but it's also been here long enough to see that there wasn't something coming out of that Robo that was immediately going to cause danger. He sees the Warp Prism with the Lings, but there's no Immortals. There's nothing crazy coming out of this.
Yeah, he's going straight into Observer after that first Prism and getting that third Nexus as well. Billowy being very macro-focused right now. He's not really being cheesy or super aggressive.
Armani throws down a Spore Crawler in a really good spot, too. Actually, this is where the Warp Prism would typically go.
Yeah. It looks like he was paying attention to the minimap when the Prism flew over the Lings. Yeah. So, it should be okay.
The timing here is so slightly off. Yeah,
just unfortunate there for Armani. He's going to lose a drone or 2 here to these Adepts. But the Queen's going to bully it away. It can actually circumnavigate that Spore Crawler. And the Roaches come down from the front natural. No big deal.
Ooh, one thing I do hope, and this is a problem with Blood Boil for Zerg players, is this is a map where none of your bases are really connected by creep unless you take the time to put that extra tumor down. And my concern would be dancing between main to third to the natural. Like, no creep between. Good luck having the Queens get there in time.
Oh, yeah, you're absolutely right. And there's only 1 Queen per hatchery as well, so he's not, like, making extra creep spread Queens at all. I mean, he has 1 creep spread Queen, but she's concentrating on the front there.
Oh, I like this a lot. He's putting spines in the mineral lines.
Ooh.
This won't straight up stop Adepts, but Billowy's usually going to be on auto attack mode. Oh, but hold the phone. Maybe that doesn't matter. If you get big warpins like this in the back lines.
Oh, yeah. Big warp into the Adepts while a bunch of them shade into the front as well. The Roach is actually not high enough in number to deal with these Adepts. The Adepts are doing a good job against them. Shading into the main now as they start to do... Yeah.
The drone count. It just won't stop going down. Another Warp Prism on the left side. Double Warp Prism harass. Ends up being perhaps a double Warp Prism kills. He doesn't quite lose that one, but the Adept number is just kind of crazy at this point. And it's killed 25 workers. Armani's certainly feeling the burn from this.
Yeah, this is almost critical. I have to say this is critical damage here with Billowy in such a commanding position. He's done so much damage, almost double the army supply, and a lot of that is here, unfortunately, for Armani in his face. Tearing apart his Roaches, tearing apart his army. He just can't fight an engagement. Reinforcement of Adepts as well. This is going to be a mass Adept win.
I'm just doing the Ancient Aliens guy right now. It's like, Adepts.
Yeah, Adepts. Hey, we've all been there.
Well,
Prism decides to... Yeah, just move out of the Spore Crawler range. I mean, does he even need to reinforce it, Rifkin? I don't know about that. Well, it's just enough to seal the deal here.
The beauty about the second Warp Prism is, like, even if one of these goes down, he's always got that backup one. But yeah, I think the numbers are starting to snowball way too much, and Billowy dominates game number 1.
Dude, that was a bopping for sure. That was a huge timing that just seemed like Armani was completely unprepared for it. He was making an overseer over at the at the I guess the front Nexus. I want to say third, but sometimes it's not the third. Sometimes it's the natural. The front expansion for Billowy. He had an overseer there. He saw the units moving out, but it just seemed like he just wasn't prepared. Wasn't making units or something. He definitely didn't have enough there.
Is there no beer mode? There's a beer mode in StarCraft. There we go. Sorry, I was messaging stats to see if he can hold his next game for us.
And you thought you'd buy him a beer while you're doing that?
Yeah.
Well, bro, that's the kind of admin or caster rather that I wanna have in my games.
I love this. There's such like an English breakdown when it comes to these map names, and translating them sometimes can be a pain in the butt, and sometimes it's easy. Like Armani wants Depender's Landing. It's so cute. I know it's silly, but it's like so adorable. Alright, let's get everyone here.
I'm warming up to Defender's Landing or Depender's Landing. I wasn't a big fan of it to start off with.
I'm still jaded on it. I think that I'm not a fan of the design, but I am more used to it now that we've played it for half a season. But I have constantly heard pro feedback saying that this is just not a good map.
My big problem with it is when I play TVT on it, I just don't know how to ever kill someone when I play TVT, unless like I get a lucky doom drop or something like that.
Yeah, that's just I failed to sit. Man, okay, they wait. Ask us to wait. I don't like
Okay.
TVT in general right now. But hey,
Fair enough.
quick note: we had Olimoleague kind of stop by the stream and do the Oli Patreon. If you guys don't know, it's a command. Excuse me. Exclamation mark Oli Patreon. This tournament has been for gotta be like 2 years now plus at this point. Funded solely by you guys, the fans of the Olimoleague. There's no actual big sponsors for this. We have our sponsors listed below because they sponsor BaseTradeTV, but the Olimoleague is run through the passion of the community. A couple of bucks a week here and there, honestly, is probably not going to break your bank, but it could be the difference of this tournament happening or not sometimes. So check out the Patreon. There are some really cool rewards on there, like having Zombie Rub or Total Biscuit cast your replays, getting replay packs from the event. Keep in mind, while we do send our subscribers replay packs all the time, we do not send them from the Olimoleague. You have to get those from the Patreon exclusively. So be sure to check out everything in the Patreon.
I am definitely a supporter of Olimoleague because I love Korean StarCraft, but I'm of the Patreon tier where I'm supposed to get a Total Biscuit replay cast, but I haven't cashed it in because I don't want to bother him. It's like, oh, the guy's busy. He has other problems. I'm sure he doesn't want to cast my fucking Diamond 2 TVT game. Why would the...
Dear Total Biscuit, I know that your combination battling cancer and setting up
having
Shoutcraft,
a family I'm like, could you just take a break from all that real quick and cast my games? God, you're such an asshole. You're so selfish. God, fucking hell.
Well, I hope nobody takes that out of context. Someone's gonna clip
that. I'm already in trouble apparently for being clipped and taken out of context.
Welcome to my life, dude.
Yeah, it's great being a Twitch streamer. It's nice to be here. Feels very welcoming.
There's this moment where we were talking about eating chicken on Nate's stream, and it definitely got really not safe for work. But hey, it's game number 2. Spawning here in the bottom left, we got the Green Zerg player down 1 at the moment, Armani.
And it's up right, currently up 1 map in the series. This is Billowy.
Also, I gotta get a little bit... Excuse me. Man, my allergies are actually going to kill my career.
Oh, man.
I'm a little bit sad about Armani, actually. And for those who don't know why, I believe soon he'll be doing the military. I think it was 2 or so tournaments ago. We were kind of casually discussing how it might be some of his last events this month. I don't actually know. I don't know his timeline. And like for some of these guys, they find ways to kind of push it off and delay it. But his time is coming, unfortunately. Just don't know when.
Yeah, it's a matter of time, unfortunately, for how things work in South Korea. I think Polt's the same boat as well. Well,
Polt's actually technically started his. I'm not quite sure what the deal is, though, because it seems like... I know he's been working with Sky, his girlfriend, back in America, to at least continue uploading content on YouTube on his behalf. And she's been, like, managing / replying to stuff over there. But I don't know about if he's able to stream or what the rules are. I know Supernova, when he goes on vacation from the military, comes home and streams for, like, a week and then goes right back to service.
Yeah, I watched that. That was great. Having Supernova back for a little while, that was fantastic.
Yeah, I don't know what the rules are regarding their military service, because you're supposed to not have a job and streaming counts as a job or something to that extent.
Huh. Interesting. Well, I mean, we both come from countries where the military is not mandatory, so it's kind of a hard concept for me to grasp.
Well, you know Canada and its military, right?
Yeah. Do they wear red coats and have big giant hats and ride yaks? That's my understanding.
Real talk, that would be a scary sight to see running into battle, though, right? I mean, come on. You're sitting there
I would run. I would run. No, I'd legit run from that for sure.
You got like a little pistol in your hand. Giant elk stands like 9 feet tall, running at you, charging you down with a Canadian Mountie on his back. Good luck.
I'm an Australian, and I deal with horrific things every day in my bathroom, in my shower, just crawling out of drains. I would still run from that.
Here's the real question, though, Maynard. Okay? Obviously, as Australian, classically speaking, you'd be riding in on a kangaroo, right? So
obviously.
However, would you be riding on the back of the kangaroo like a saddle or in its pouch? That's the real question.
Well, I mean, with me pushing 100 kilos, I probably would go on its back just to help it out. But if I went into its pouch at my current weight, it probably wouldn't go well for the kangaroo.
But also think of the cover provided by the pouch.
Yeah.
Doc,
it's meaty hide protecting. We're seeing a roach opening again by Armani here, and I don't know how. I actually don't like roaches against adept style. I actually prefer Ling Bane, but he's a better player than me, so I'm gonna watch this play out.
I think a problem with Ling Bane that we've seen at least a couple times in recent days, though, is like Neeb actually more than the Koreans is who had reference for this. Is like they split the adepts and suddenly the Lings and Banlings can't kill anything, right? It just feels bad, man. But I do want to note, like, Armani was moving a Hydralisk Den. Like, he died with a Hydralisk Den in play. The timing was so sharp and disgusting that he wasn't prepared for it. This time around, he's looking for some payback because while he distracts on the left side, he is morphing in a drop Overlord on the right side. And Billowy actually doesn't even have so much as a pylon in his mineral line, much less the ability to overcharge it.
Yeah, so, I mean, without the Mothership Core, obviously, this thing doesn't care about pylons. It already has Pneumatized Carapace, so it can fly in with that Overlord speed and unload these Lings. And there is not much at all. You're right, Rifkin, in the main here. So Armani is looking like he's probably going to get some damage done in this main mineral line. I don't see a reaction yet from Billowy. No doubt he's going to start pulling probes now, though.
Well, pulls them into the fight, though, and I guess this is not a bad choke, all things considered. However, perhaps Armani's not looking to get kills here. He just wants to distract. No, he actually gets on top of the sentries, but the Zealots and the sentries are too much, and that Ling attack on the left side is going to be stopped dead in his tracks.
Yeah, not before getting 8 probe kills, though. 9 probe kills.
Wow.
That's actually
10?
not too bad. Picks up the hurt one.
Mate.
Damn, that's actually a good drop. Mate, that's a good one. That's a Bonza drop right there. That's actually...
I was say no way. Okay, I was gonna say no way that extra Ling actually gets out of there alive. That was crazy. He ran past like all the sentries, all the Zealots. While this goes on, of course, there was the Roach Warren you had referenced earlier. Not for Roach so much as it was Ravagers, and he's gonna be so good at breaking the force fields because right now Billowy is relying on force fields to buy him time to get that second Immortal, to get more gateway units.
Another Ling Ferry in the main here. Meanwhile, the Roaches and the Ravagers pressuring the third Nexus. Good force fields from from Billowy to keep one of the Ravagers to the Immortal Death Fountain, but the third Nexus is very, very low. It's going to go down.
You know, they say, Maynard, one good all-in deserves another, I suppose.
Yeah.
No tech from Armani whatsoever behind this. This is so brute force, but it is doing damage. It is doing pretty good damage. It killed the third base. It killed a lot more in the main, too. 11 probes died in total, and Billowy's in a pretty bad spot.
Yeah, Billowy took a huge econ hit. Not only did he lose the third Nexus, he lost a bunch of probes as well. He's down to 34 versus the 48 drones of the Zerg. And normally you'd see the Zerg on a higher drone count, but Armani, bless his soul, he's just been making Roaches for a little while here, just getting +1 attack for them as well.
Well, round 3 with the Zerglings heads toward the main. I mean, Billowy's trying to get his third up, but also worth noting, Billowy doesn't have any tech himself. I just referenced, like, Armani being pretty dedicated with this. Billowy hardly has anything. There's no.
Also, what is that? What is that Mothership Core doing at the third? She's just sitting there. There's no pylons for her down there. Meanwhile, the main again being dropped.
Yeah, but even then, there's nothing to really overcharge here, right? Like, there's the one pylon by the ramp.
For her there. There's nothing for you there. Leave.
This gateway wall is also so weird. I mean, it's working, but I don't like it.
Well, they need to impress us better with these wall-ins. As casters, we're entitled to such things.
Right. Get down and kneel before us, you plebs. This catches the Roaches and Lings on the left side, and will actually get quite a few good kills. So Billowy finally getting a favorable trade in his favor. But oh no, did the Mothership Core just die to the Ravagers? I think she did. Yeah, Mothership Core just went down. Not a single overcharge either. How useless!
No, and she was full on juice and didn't get used at all. She just tickled some units from above and ended up dying for nothing. 2 gateways got killed in the wall there by those 4 Ravagers, while all the action was going down at the third Nexus. So Billowy's actually got knocked down to 4 gateways, 4 warp gates in total for production here.
He's elevatoring 4 Ravagers to the main. This is actually some sick creative play out of Armani. I love this.
Yeah, this is beautiful. I haven't actually seen this before. I love it. What the hell are these probes going to do against 4 Ravagers?
Run really fast and hope for the best. Takes out the pylon for fear of an overcharge, but there's no overcharges. You know that, I know that, but he doesn't know that.
Yeah, and this Immortal coming in. Big Daddy Immortal's going to spell doom eventually for these Ravagers, but, oh, will it? Yeah, it's just a micro back. Take out the pylon at least. Nope, it's going to leave.
That Overlord's going to die faster to the Stalkers than the Ravager would, but he gets it out alive? Yeah. Meanwhile, pushing on the other side of the map, you know, this was his only real option. He couldn't really defend at home. He knows that too, but Crystal Bows aren't quite going to hit. Big surround of the Lings. This doesn't look good for Billowy.
Oh no, this looks like GG for Billowy right here. Armani just with too much. What a beautiful game from him to tie it up.
Yeah, that was like I made the joke, but that was actually a great response to that first game and a good way to get yourself back into the series. But I guess a quick commercial break. We'll get to Game 3 as quick as we can. Thank you guys for joining us this morning for the Olimoleague. We'll be back soon. Find out who wins the series. All right, folks, thanks for watching during the break. A couple of shout-outs to do really quick as we get into game number 3. Number 1 would be Aylas, who apparently also got his t-shirt in the mail. I talked about this a little bit earlier with Zimxiao, however I pronounce that. A lot of you guys who are getting your shirts, I hope you'll tweet us pictures of them. You don't have to include your face if you're feeling shy, but I just want to see and make sure that shirt came out in the quality that we expect it to, because it looks pretty damn good. People want to know where Zombie Grub is today. For those who weren't here for yesterday's cast, you may have missed out on Zombie Grub's mom kind of chilling in the background. Her mom actually flew out to Korea to spend a couple days with her. This was unfortunately going to impact casting of some variety at some point anyways. So we said, well, here, take these 2 days and whatever. So today and tomorrow, going to be without Zombie Grub. I should be back afterwards. But bottom right side, I thought for a moment, oh god, is that a Cannon Rush? But no, it's the Green Zerg player, Armani.
And in the top left, winning game 1, losing game 2. Will he win game 3 is a big question here. This is Billowy.
I think both of them have displayed through both games 1 and 2 that they've got it in them to get down and dirty and to get a win in whatever way possible. But
this is one of those maps where all-ins and run-bys and proxies can be quite strong. Doesn't look like either player going for it just yet, though. So
no,
it's just regular openers.
Certainly not. But the point I was going to make off that was the first 2 maps in this were kind of, if we're going to be blunt about this, the crappier maps available, right? Defense Landing and Blood Boil are not the most picked, and for good reason. We go back to Abyssal. It's a map from last season, which is always the old season maps are always the preference for every player, no matter what region you're in. It's a much more standardized map, too. In fact, it is my opinion, Abyssal Reef has been like the gold standard of maps this year for 2017 in terms of like a good map.
Yeah. It's like the new Overgrowth or whatever. Like it's a regular map that everyone seems to be okay with.
Exactly. So I think that if there was one map where we're going to have longer play or less cheesy all-ins, this would be that map. And it's not even an exaggeration to say a lot of builds are totally map dependent. And I wouldn't be surprised if from both of these guys, that's how game 1 and game 2 is influenced.
Well, it's looking like Armani going for a pretty quick third hatchery here, and Billowy opened with a Stalker, which usually means that he wants to, pick off Overlords straight up, deny scouting, and maybe drop some tech that's a little bit cheeky. But as it stands, he's just dropping a Forge at the moment. This usually means macro play, or some kind of like attack timing or something.
I would love if this was some sort of like super dank +1 new charge timing or something. Shake it up really crazy. We talked a little bit about Armani and his military. He's had a pretty good record. Not an amazing run. He's not like been champion of GSL or anything, but he's been a pretty good player generally speaking, because of course he used to be Burning from Samsung Galaxy. But Billowy's also had a very funky, I guess, history with StarCraft, and I do wonder, like amongst these players who, and I say this as politely and respectfully as I can, like the mid-tier Koreans, how much possibly leaving the game affects them. Like Billowy, for example, we know, again, not a GSL champion, but a dude who on his best day can actually take on like any player in StarCraft 2. I feel confident in that.
I mean, players like Supernova and...
Well, so my question is, if he had to go to the military, would it really be devastating to these guys? Like, I know Armani's emotional, and he's made a point of saying, like, he's sad and doesn't want to go, but how big of an impact is that going to have on him, right? We just got, who was that? I saw on Reddit this morning. Squirtle out of the military, apparently.
Good old Squirtle from one of the most referenced grand finals in the history of StarCraft 2. That MVP. God, what was that map? Like Metro something?
Metropolis, I think, or whatever.
Metropolis, not Metalopolis, like the other one.
The stupid names, I'd always confuse them, right? One was the big map, one was the small map, but
it was the one with the dank vortex and the battle cruisers and whatnot. It's a map that's still talked about to this day, like 6 years down the line. Actually,
what I was really sad about though was like the scene's obviously changed a lot since he went to military, right? Teams have disbanded, Korea's different, foreign scene's crazy huge, in comparison to what it was, blah blah blah. But I saw on the Reddit thread all these people like immediately, and people tweeting at him immediately, will you come back? Are you coming back to StarCraft 2? I'm like, guys, you're like the needy girlfriend nobody wants. Just chill, be cool.
Give him a breather.
Yeah, he just got out of the military. Like, if he wants to play StarCraft, he'll play StarCraft. Leave him.
Mate, he probably just wants to get laid. First thing I'd want to do when I'm out of the military, man. I'd do StarCraft second though. We do have a bunch of adepts coming into this third base. Are they going to get a queen? No, they've already got 3 drones.
This already changing drastically. We talked about this with Blood Boil. You know, that's a map where you can't really connect the bases. This one you much more fluently can. So, hey, that creep starter's there, and that queen I don't think would have escaped otherwise.
Yeah, very, very lucky there. It's good difference to have that. Just a couple creep streamers to be able to connect all the bases. We have 15 drones being pumped out by Armani.
Yeah, this is bold, if we're going to be honest.
Yeah.
Actually. He just saw an attack of this size of a depths. You don't know that there's not another follow-up to this. And he's gone fast. Oh, wow. Really fast infestation pit, too.
So this kind of, like, this could be I want to see Swarm Hosts, but I know that's not going to happen. I want to see it. I really, really do. But I'm feeling like he just wants to go really, really quick Hive, but, you know, chilling on Lair Tech's not too bad either. +1 for a Link's just about to finish. He's making 10 more at the moment. Going a second forge on the way here for Billowy, so he's gearing up for that late game. Robotics Bear on the way as well.
I'm just trying to think about the benefits of like a fast Hive. Like, otherwise...
Yeah, I don't... Oh, God, I just want to see Swarm Host Rifkin.
So I'm, first off, completely opposed to the idea of Swarm Hosts, wretched units.
Oh, baby.
but there is something to be said about the fact that they don't require much investment, right? Like, you don't need to put +3 range weapons into them to make them effective.
Yeah, that's right. They spew out free units on...
This, by the way, is more than I thought it would be. When he was going for like 6 to 8, I thought this was actually perfect for harass. The fact that he goes all the way to 10, though, I mean, Swarm Hosts, they have been cheapened from what they once were, but they are still very expensive units.
Yeah, they use a lot of supply. Actually, this Queen body blocking a couple Swarm Hosts getting out of that main base. Looks like they are going to eventually get out of there. But yeah, you're right. This is a ton of Swarm Hosts. This basically means this is my main army now. My army is Swarm Hosts. Yeah. Like, yeah, there's Links, but they're not that. You know, it's not an incredible number of Links.
Well, one thing's for certain: you don't mind losing free units. So sending in Locusts to their death, and they can kill a Nexus in like 3 seconds flat. I've seen it happen.
Yeah. This is. I feel like an underutilized unit in ZVP. It's so strong against most things that Protoss can handle. Overcharge is going down on the pylons, DPS down these Locusts, but there it is. That's free damage. I mean, the Swarm Host cost money, but
well, the thing is, it's
free units are killing units.
It's a like 43-second cooldown. Yeah, 43 seconds. So I mean, you can't attack that often. It's like technically the slowest attack unit in the game, if you want to put a comparison like that. And what we see a lot of foreigners doing is they stagger the Swarm Host. So even if you go for like 8, you'll only use 4 of them at a time. That way you have a constant attack wave going. I kind of don't like that Armani blew his load, so to speak, and just threw all the Locusts out right away.
Yeah, and he's got all these Swarm Hosts together as well. And nicely positioned observer by Billowy, seeing the entire army of Armani here on that high ground. So he's consolidating his forces, actually split them a little bit. He's got still forces in the natural to be able to defend that mineral line, but the majority of his forces are here at this 4th Nexus. These Locusts are going to have to be dealt with as quickly as possible. Does he target fire anything juicy? He does try to go for the Colossus. Isn't going to get it, though.
Yeah, I actually really think that the Swarm Host usage here is very clunky, and I'm not loving it.
A little bit.
It's funny because there's not many things you can really say like a foreigner is definitively better than the Korean out, but I will say like 9 times out of 10 when we see Swarm Host used, it's much better out of the foreigners than it is out of the Koreans.
Yeah, Swarm Host is something that you know, I'm thinking back to like even like the slow siege Swarm Hosts from Heart of the Swarm, where it was definitely all about the foreigners using those. But you know, I kind of agree with you. The foreigners staggering of the Swarm Hosts is a much more effective way to use them for sure. I mean, they are getting damage done, but they're like you said, you know, they're expensive. Some banelings getting out by the extended thermal lance there.
Well, actually, that was a sick tonight too, because Armani hadn't been to the top of the ramp to realize that this was a full wall off, and not just a full wall off, but a full wall off of unbustable gateways. The Locusts still not getting kills, but you know, going back to those days that you just referenced to, I always think about Petraeus, man. He's always my disgusting Swarm Host go-to memory.
My man. I remember casting a series between Snoot and Hero for IEM Toronto, I think it was. Oh, damn. Now that's a Swarm Host player right there.
Yeah, there's like a... It's so funny watching all the gas be used into banelings, but the funniest, like, this is gas that he's been saved, essentially, by using Swarm Hosts, right?
True, yeah, he's only been making lings and drones since then.
Oh, he's...
and getting tech,
Maynard. He's gonna go for Broodlords. He's gonna have all the free units if you really wanted to go Infestors. You have like that perfect trifecta.
Yeah, and imagine that. Locusts, infested marines, and also broodlings. Hell yeah. It's a Zerg wet dream.
It's so flimsy as fuck, but free as fuck army. Meanwhile, some roaches chip away at the gateways on the left side. Attack on the back side, however, catches them a little off guard. This hits everything.
Yeah, that Baneling flank was so sick there from Armani, and a lot of the Protoss army does go down, but that Colossus getting picked off the last second by that those Corruptors as well. And the punch of Billowy's army has been taken out here.
Well, so there's a couple of really important things to say off of this, right? Like the first one being like he used all the Banelings pretty much. So that was actually a really costly engagement for Armani too, as sick as it was. But he does have all these spine crawlers to fall back to. So Broodlord's on the way, Swarm Host over here. He's been continuing to harass while deflecting, while defending, and Billowy is ultimately the one who's getting broken behind this, I feel.
Yeah, and now the Swarm Host harassment's being a little bit effective here. He split Billowy's attention because Billowy desperately needs this attack to work. He's got to kill hatcheries, he's got to kill drones, he's got to trade well with the army, but this army is like we touched on, going to be free unit city.
All he's got to do is sit back behind the spine crawlers with his Broodlords, and the Archons will never get to them. He's pushing out. I don't know. He needs to try and take a fight out here. He could be trying to bait, which okay, that's kind of cool, I guess. But where'd those Broodlords go? Full back.
They're just chilling on that hatchery there, and then the Locusts are going in for another round as well on that natural.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Corruptors chase Warp Prisms around the map too. So there's no drops or warp ins anywhere. Nexus gonna go down so quickly. Oh my god.
Yeah, if he target fires it, no, he's not controlling them. So they're just going for whatever attacking unit. Now he is a little bit too late though.
I know, but that's the thing. It's so stupid. Even late, he almost kills us. Like, that's so crazy how good Locust damage can be.
Yeah. DPS
Host. Oh, no. Oh, no. He shouldn't have gone up.
Uh-oh.
Well, you know what? While the army's over here...
Great.
Well, he maybe lose the Swarm Host to this. The Ling army is unleashed elsewhere.
Yeah, and he's killed a few of those gateways with the roaches, I think, so that's not a... I mean, it is still a wall-off, but it's almost open. 23 Banelings being made right there. In range of cannons, in fact. Well, not all of them, but a few of them were.
Well, you know, there's Adrenal Glands, of course, too. We've got the Broodlords now moving out, kind of exposed. There's not really that many stalkers to blink underneath them if they were covered, but when they're exposed like this is no problem. Transfuses going into this one. Oh, no, it won't die!
Yeah. Oh, man, that blink back was so lucky, but even then, there's still so much left. The Broodlings chipping away at these Stalkers. The Baneling's not connecting effectively there, but the Archons are still alive. They're going to try and get under these Broodlords here. Not too many transfuses left.
The Locusts coming from the backside, and they get triggered early, so they can't even float to the army in time. Armani moving out may have been the biggest mistake he could have made this game.
Possibly. It's not over yet, though. These Broodlings, now he's found a nice position for the Broodlords, and now he's on creep with all these spine crawlers. This is the best fight Armani could hope for if Billowy fight right here, but looks like Billowy does pull out, but not before losing a good chunk of his army.
Yeah, 6 more Broodlords coming out to replace the ones he lost. That was scary. Like, Armani almost threw the game, I feel. The Swarm Hosts, as we can see, were pretty much caught, almost killed. The Broodlords started going down in the open. I mean, Billowy is still going to have a hell of a time fighting off this army of free units, but damn, like, oh no, I don't like this either.
Yeah, the Swarm Host getting caught for real this time. That's going to probably be it for Swarm Hosts in this game.
I think it's too late to reinvest in them, which is what really sucks about this, right? Like, the thing about these guys, they're made early enough that 43-second cooldown, they got like 7 or 8 attack waves off. You build any Swarm Hosts now, they're probably only going to get like 2 or 3 before the game's over.
Broodlords with a Ling Baneling army underneath them to deflect the Stalkers here. The Stalkers are the only answer, I mean, apart from Archons, but they're not really that great of an answer against the Broodlords here.
Yeah, that's why I don't know about sending the Banelings in like that. Having these on the bottom side, he needs something to cover the Broodlords, right?
So many Archons! These Archons could tank so many Banelings. Armani's going to need to control this well if he wants to keep these Broodlords alive. So far, the Broodlords doing a great job on these very, very high-cost Archons here. In come the Banelings, a big blink forward! The Stalkers, though, dying to the Banelings.
Yeah, fuck the Stalkers. Who cares if you're armored? That being said, he still gets underneath the Broodlords and cleans these up. Both players had a bank to fall back to behind this, but Armani would need so much more time than Billowy to recover from this.
Yeah, Billowy already has a game-ending army here, and Armani is trying to remake it right now, and his decision is to put that money into 12 more Swarm Hosts. So it's going to be a long time before... I mean, we may not even see Broodlords again in this game, depending on how much time Billowy gives Armani or space to recover. A Warp It in the main. I love this decision. Just 9 Zealots, but it looks like Armani on top of it here. Does he have enough Zerglings, though? Actually, probably not.
No, and I think the upgrades are too one-sided as well. It's 3-3 to 2-1. New Swarm House being made. I don't think we're a smart choice, and they're not going to save him in this game, that's for sure. But desperate times call for desperate measures, I suppose.
Yeah, meanwhile, a hatchery getting taken out here, and Armani's defenses have been cracked. He's getting in with a bunch of banelings, killing some probes, but the real story is he is losing production. He's losing these hatcheries. Two of them have already gone down to the army of Billowy. Billowy skyrocketing in supply versus Armani right now. His army is 30 supply ahead of Armani's killed hatcheries. So it's a big, big deal.
Armani, I really feel like through a lot of these games, like he had so many good engagements and then just started throwing it away towards the end of this game.
Oh, man.
Maybe it was impatience, maybe it was greed, but GG, Billowy certainly earned the victory.
Yeah, really well played there from Billowy. And like you said, there were a couple mistakes there for sure. Armani nearly had that one. It was so frustratingly close for him, but Billowy was too good to let him get away with those very, very bold army movements. Those Broodlords getting caught by the Archons and overestimating his army against the army of Billowy on that high ground was definitely the end of the game there. Losing the Broodlords was the end, I think.
Scumbag Armani, by going for our Swarm House, actually screwed up our timing, so we don't get a cast Sue versus stats, unfortunately. I think Crank might be covering it, though. Or maybe Take TV is highlighted, and usually the highlighted brackets on the thing are where the casters are. But this leads us now into the winner of this maybe fighting somebody, or Super versus Leonok, possibly. All the other series have started. Innovation has already jumped ahead to round 3. So maybe we'll catch the tail end of Gumiho versus Alive and follow the winner to fight versus Innovation, or maybe we'll catch one of these other brand new best of 3s if they pop up. I don't know, but we'll be back shortly. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you are enjoying the show so far, and we'll see you in a little bit.